Ahoy there, me hearties. It be that time again. That time when I get to be telling ye me most deeply held opinions on the islands across our precious Sea of Thieves. And lo, what a selection I've got for ye today. It be all grey beaches and green skies from here on, mateys. I've set course for the wilds. God help the lot of us. Our first stop be Scurvy Islet. And fair play to it, it ain't exactly tiny and nondescript. It is both of those things, but it be tall enough to beat the category. Though I do have to ask, why call it Islet? Why not Isle? Ain't nowhere else in the Sea of Thieves called Islet. Whatever. C tier. Alright, now let's get the big one out of the way, eh? I despise Old Faithful Isle. Not only is it far too bloody massive for its own good, but it be a damned ugly sight to behold. Whole thing just looks the same. Just grey and brown and mess. And as if that ain't bad enough, it be where I first met my crewmate Stretch. And no good has come of that since. It were a training voyage back in the Gold Harder days. My mentor and I were there to recover some loot he'd buried. That were when we heard the screams. Coming from a cave tucked away near the island center. We went to look and the poor man Stretch were peeling the flesh and muscle clean off his bones, holding it o'er the fire. He were eating that poor sailor alive. I had to kill him. I had to stop the screaming. Oh God, the screaming. Anyway, the island be an absolute eyesore. F tier. Black Sands Atoll. Do I even have to be saying it? Tiny and nondescript gets in a D. Now, you all know me, and by now you probably know that I be partial to any island you can sail through. And Marauder's Arch ain't be no exception. Though it ain't quite on the same level as the others. The fact that it be in the wilds truly do be hurting it in the eyes. In case you couldn't tell, I ain't exactly a fan of the whole region. Still, I won't let that impact my judgment too harshly, so let's call it an A tier and be done with it. Blackwater Enclave. Not only do it be tiny and nondescript, but half of the f***ing thing just be a massive rock jutting out of the water. D tier. Shrine of Hungerin. Hope you like sharks nipping at your arse. D tier. Sharkfin Camp. Now this fort be proper menacing. From top to bottom, the place screams that you ain't welcome. And if the hostile architecture ain't doing it for you, perhaps the Kraken skeletons will. A tier. The Wild Treasures Store. I love this wee little sea post. Managed to convince poor Emrigor there that Jonah be a skeleton lord hell-bent on conquering the world. He didn't quite buy it at first, but I kept at it, manipulating him, making him question his sanity. 'Twere easy with him there leaving his post, and a good laugh or that. I wonder if there'd be a term for what I done. Well, S tier. Kraken Watchtower. You know, search me as for why, but I get the distinct impression this one may be a prison of some sort. Or at least it may once have been if our sea farts were summoned into being. Mayhaps it be the surplus of cages. I ain't rightly sure, but now it's got me pondering if all the skeleton forts have some higher purpose. B tier. Blind Man's Lagoon, tiny and nondescript, it gets a D. Move it along, move it along. Plunderer's Plight is tiny and nondescript, though I did make this shot, so C. Traitor's Fate Fortress. Easily the most grim sea fort, and I love it. Those lot must be the most ruthless phantoms on the sea, judging by the haphazard scattering of dead men all throughout. It ain't my favourite sea fort, but it'd be a close second. S tier. Sunken Grove. Listen, I've got nothing to say about 80% of this island. If it weren't for its highlight feature, it'd be, I don't know, C. But the Sunken Grove itself, the namesake of the island, that be the only thing what matters here, and I love it. A tier, easily. The Isle of Last Words. You know, for the longest time, I thought it were called the Isle of Lost Words, not Last. But anyway, the island were a contender for tiny and nondescript. Save the giant rock spires what surround the place and make it stick out in me mind. I'll give it a C tier. You know, unless I'm mistaken, Skullkeep might actually be the smallest skeleton fort. And I really like it. Matter of fact, it could very well be my favourite one. Just feels like the one I'd most want to be defending were I a mindless bone bag. A tier, methinks. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. You know, for a place called Tri Rock Isle, it sure got more than 3 rocks. F tier. 3 paces east. I mean, it'd just be another... F tier. Grog ain't meant to be fizzy. Some Melee Island shit right there. Get it out of my face. Liar's Backbone be another case where the island itself ain't much to speak of until you delve into everything it has in store. Much as I despised the landlubber while he were alive, old Stitcher Jim certainly knew how to make an evil lair for himself. Good, solid B-tier island. Shiver Retreat. It is tiny, but it ain't exactly nondescript. At least not as bad as some of the islands I've given that descriptor to. I'll give it a C, but it'd be a reluctant C. Crooked Masts. I like the verticality on this island. What I don't like is how it seems that every single slithering serpent on the sea has made this island their home. Feels like you can't hardly take a step at the lower points without one of the damn things spitting their venom at you. Regardless, B tier. Shipwreck Bay. Now, is it just me, or do this island be the place where you be most likely to encounter an Ashen Lord? Surely I ain't the only one what's noticed that they frequent the place, I wonder why that... okay, that's right. Forgot about that. B's here. The Shrine of Flooded Embrace. Do you remember what I were saying at the Shrine of Tribute? It manages to avoid being obnoxious by having a plethora of bubble coral and air pockets. Remember this for later. F tier. So unbelievably F tier. Sharktooth Key. Tiny, nondescript, and it be more water than island besides. D tier. Kraken's Fall be an island with a lot going for it, and I truly do mean that. Matter of fact, on its own merits, I'd be giving it an A for all its varied locales. Trouble is, there be one thing dragging it down. Lutin Penelope. Afraid I've got no choice but to give the island a D. For divorce. And before you ask, no, just 'cause it be my third one, don't mean it hurts any less. D tier. Anyway, to end it on a decently high note, we have Mercy's End Fortress. A perfectly solid sea fort that, while it ain't nothing special, is still everything one of these sea forts ought to be. B tier. And that be all for the wilds. Overall, it did about how I expected it to. I understand that there be thems what like the region, but personally, the smell in the air just makes me feel a touch green around the gills, savvy. Anywho, next time we weigh anchor, we'll be setting sail for the Devil's Roar. So, all you wilds enjoyers, take solace in the fact that it won't be my lowest ranked region. That's all I've got for you this week, me hearties. Wind in your sails until we see each other again.